You have to go with it. You have to live with it, and it's insane. It's insane. A night terror is insane. There's a lot of people who really, really suffer from it, and I've heard it. Waking up screaming at the top of their lungs. And I mean screaming. Screaming, screaming, screaming. They can't stop. Even when they come out of it and they're awake, they sometimes still feel like they're in that terror. They're in that nightmare. So there's a couple more we're going to talk about, one of which is deja vu. Okay? But before we get to the last two, what I want to do right now is this is the time. It's about halfway mark of the show. What I want to do is I want to show you and promote for myself, of course. This is like where we would usually have a commercial. As you can see on the screen right here, this is Global Enlightenment Radio Network. This is the website. Everybody should go to this website. So what I did was I brought the website up, okay? So we can all take a look at it. As you can see the different shows that we have. This is where we're streaming right now. This is going to be the next show. As you can see, you can join the group. We also have spots where we have a Patreon. You can donate. So please do yourself a favor. Check out this website. This is our actual network. There is so many shows on this network. I can't even describe it. I'm just going to go to shows real quick in this network just to show you all the different shows that we have. And this isn't even all of them, I believe. I believe that there's more. There's affiliates. There is something for everybody on this network, okay? As you can see, there is something for everybody here. There is archives as well. We also have a YouTube station that you can go to. Subscribe to the YouTube station. It's worth it. Trust me when I tell you. I went through some of these archived, actually, a lot of the archived episodes. It is absolutely incredible. There is something for everybody. Okay, there is something for everybody. Just so you see, we're going to hit archives real quick, just so you know what's going on. I want to make sure that everybody sees what this is, okay? As you can see, there's so many episodes. You can binge watch. When you find one you like, you can binge watch it, okay? We have so many amazing hosts. And actually, we just added another one, like I told you, Melinda. And she's our resident medium here at Full Spectrum Universe. She's going to have her own shows on Friday. Check her out. She is amazing at what she does. We love her to death. And she is absolutely great. Absolutely great. So do yourself a favor. Please check out the website. We have a great, great cast of people. It's amazing. I am so honored to be a part of this group. We really, really have the best group. This is the best stuff, or the best radio network on the whole internet, okay? You can't say that about everybody. We literally have something for everybody here, okay? So with that being said, we're going to come back to me. But if you thought the advertising was over, no, my friends. My friends, no. But now, with my show, what I'm going to tell everybody is that we have extra content. Every interview we do an extra episode on top of it with that person, taking the subjects a little bit further. You get to know who these people are for as low as $2. As you can see, it's www.patreon.com/Full Spectrum Universe. All one word. All you have, it's $2. I know money's tight. $2. For $2, you can binge watch extra episodes that are not available on YouTube. So do yourself a favor. If you like the stuff that we do here, also, we could always use the support, okay? We're trying to make this the biggest and best show that we've ever had. Today, I just figured out how to turn, David Rucker said, the quality of the video is really good. And, you know what happened, Dave, is I actually went into the settings and I found the 1080 spot. I thought it was already on 1080. It wasn't. So now we have the camera up at 1080. Hopefully it looks better. The sound must be a lot clearer. Hopefully. Thank God. We figured it out. But do yourself a favor and check us out. If you don't like Patreon, and I know some people don't like Patreon, we have a subscribe star for you as well. Okay? The only difference is it's www.subscribe subscribestar.com/full. There's that little thing that goes in between the phone numbers and in between all the words. Spectrum, that thing that goes in between the phone numbers, universe. Okay? And again, as low as $2 a month. That means you're going to get 3 episodes of Full Spectrum Universe News. Okay? You're going to get a half-hour extra episode, a half-hour to 45-minute extra episode with every interview that we do. Even if it's a 2-hour interview that we're doing on the network, because all the network, usually my shows run about an hour. Anytime that I'm on Global Enlightenment Network, what I will be doing is a 2-hour show. It's a rally show. So the long topics, we're going to go into all of it. We're going to have guests. We're going to have roundtables. It's going to be incredible. You know what I mean? With that being said, as we go forward, if you like what we do, you're talking about upwards of 6 extra episodes a week. Okay? So binge watch it. You can binge watch all of it. Not only that, we have different levels. We have a $5 level, we have a $10 level, we have a $20 level. And once you hit those other levels, what happens is, you get to interact with the camera, and you actually get to help us pick out topics, which makes this the most interactive show on the radio. You literally get to pick the topics that we do, in a sense, or at least talk about it, and we can talk to each other and say, hey, we want to hear about this. I myself will do the legwork and the research, and then we'll put a whole show together for you. And we also have guest appearances on the shows at those levels too, so you can tell everybody else what you like about the Patreon. We also have chats. There's a whole chat board. There's a round table. It's a whole community in itself. So now, one more thing I want to show everybody as well is, if you have a small business, and I mean an internet startup, a small business, listen, we're going on iHeartRadio, okay? If you have a small business, we're going to be in front of 10 to 15,000 people a night, okay? The numbers are going to be outrageous. So what I want to tell everybody is, if you have a small business that would like to advertise on this episode, what you do is you go to the $100 a month tier, okay? Of course, you purchase it, and every episode we do, whether it be a 2-hour episode or a 1-hour episode, whether it be an FSU News, Full Spectrum Universe News, you will get your advertisement read twice. You send the advertisement, I will read it. You will be in front of hundreds of thousands of people over time. You can't lose. There's nobody out there charging $100 for advertising. You can't even go to the penny savers anymore and get that kind of money, get those kinds of ads. So, with that being said, I digress. I apologize. It was about 10 minutes worth of advertising, but we have to do that. We want to grow this station. We want to grow this show. I want to make this the best I possibly can for you guys. This information can be vital to some people, but it can also be fun. People love to learn. The dog doesn't hunt without you guys. Without you, the people out there, we don't make it. We don't go through it. So any support you can give, I know money's tight, but any support you can give, you're going to get a lot for it, and we appreciate it. So with that being said, let's go back to what. So now we're going to talk about deja vu, okay? Deja vu. Deja vu is something a little bit different, okay? There's one theory of deja vu attributes: the feeling of having previously seen or experienced something, to having dreamed about a similar situation or place, and forgetting about it until one seems to be mysteriously reminded of the situation or place while awake. This happens to me when I tell you, okay? This happens to me, I want to say 2-3 times a day. I get deja vu so much. Now, we all know there's psychics out there. I am not one of those people. There's certain things that I can do that other people can't do. I can heal with my hands. I have the ability to gauge people in a room without them actually being in the room, or on what basically feeling what their emotions are before they even get to talk to me. So, with that being said, deja vu happens all the time. The first time I ever experienced deja vu, I was in, I want to say either fourth or fifth grade, okay? And I was sleeping at night and I had a dream. The dream that I had was I was out at recess and I was playing football, okay? And we used to play with a kid who was probably back then about 250 pounds. Big kid, big kid. And in the dream, this kid went to block tackle somebody while we were playing football. And I kid you not, and he actually broke his arm when he fell to the ground in the dream. And I kid you not, 5 days later, 5 days, we were at school. And guess what happened? At recess, the big kid sat there and blocked that skinny kid. I don't want to go into people's names. It's radio, We don't know. We don't want to do that. And he broke his arm. Broke it. Hit the ground. Kid was crying. And I could feel this flush emotion, like that, this fear, this fear of what it was, what it felt like. And in the dream, I had that as well. So it was so wild. It was so wild. It was so wild. So deja vu is real. I can attest to that. And, it's something it's very difficult to put a finger on it all the times, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Deja vu it happens. And I bet you a lot of people realize what it is, and they've had it happen to them before. So we're going to go into another one. This is called recall. Okay. This is the collection of dreams that is this is actually, I apologize. This is actually recalling dreams. Okay. So this is waking up, just to give you a little situation, this scenario. This is waking up and actually having a recollection of what you were dreaming throughout the night. Sometimes, like I said before and earlier in the show, sometimes you wake up and boom, you remember everything. When I mean everything, you remember everything down to what you were wearing in the dream. Okay? But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you wake up and you're a blank slate. You've got no idea. You've got no idea what happened. So this is actually recalling dreams, okay? So the recollection of dreams is extremely unreliable. Okay? Though it is a skill that can be trained, dreams can usually be recalled if a person is awakened while dreaming. When you wake up suddenly, right? That is usually when you remember that dream. When you wake up suddenly, okay? So 9 times out of 10, you're like, uh-oh, you don't remember it. But when you wake up out of that dream startled, because, the door slammed, the dog barked, somebody's touching you, you're like, oh, you wake up and you remember it. 9 times out of 10. But this is also a skill that can be trained, right? So women tend to have more frequent dream recall than men do. Dreams that are difficult to recall may be characterized by relatively little effect, and factors such as salience, arousal, and interference play a role in the dream recall. So often, a dream can be recalled upon viewing or hearing a random trigger or stimulus. That's remarkable, right? So if you, of course, like they said arousal, things like that. If there's something that triggers you to remember something in that dream, that's when you, that's really when things pop up for you, right? And that's really when you can say, oh, I remember that now. Yeah, that's right. That's what happened, So now, before we get into the actual science of what it is, we're going to go into a little bit of my thought. Okay, and then we'll wrap it up with the science. And then if you have any questions in the comments, feel free to leave it. I'll do my best to answer it. So let me get prepared here, okay? Now, I went to a conversation with Odin yesterday, called him on the phone. I said to him, I said, bro, man, I'm gonna do my show. We'll come right out of the box, kicking and screaming. I'm gonna do it on dreams. And I said, it's crazy if you think about dreams, right? There's, we went over the different types and how important it was. Now that you've read that, it's a little bit difficult to go through your own dreams and say, okay, I get it, I don't. Now, a lot of people feel that we live in a matrix, right? That this whole thing is a matrix. It's a machine. Everything runs like a machine. Your whole life, the whole environment, it's all a machine. It's all it's like the actual movie The Matrix, where Neo's in a pod. He's hooked up to all different types of things, and this is all just a dream to him. So if there's a dream inside of a dream, which means that your brain is like a piece of hardware, right? It's a hard drive. You're literally you're making these dreams up, and from the recollection of the day in this hard drive, you're pulling pieces out of it, and you're making dreams. So that's a matrix, right? Your brain is like a matrix in itself. It's like a machine. It's a matrix. So when we say that this is literally a matrix inside of a matrix, it's a dream inside of a dream. How does that work? How does that work? You know what I mean? So think about all that. Like, it's mind-boggling. It's literally mind-boggling, because you can go into so many different things, right? And when there's people that say that they can see the future, okay? But there's also people who can do past life regression, which is hypnosis. Now, who's to say? Okay, now hear me out. This is going to sound wild, but we were talking about this. Who's to say when you get hypnotized that you're not actually dreaming, right? So now they want you to go to a past life. So if this was a matrix, everything around us is a matrix, right? And your brain is a matrix. Now you've literally, if there's reincarnation on top of that, and you've had past lives, you've come into the matrix, come out of the matrix, come back into the matrix, and come back out of the matrix. But that second time in the matrix, you can actually recall what happened the first time in the matrix. So past life regression is where they bring up certain things from your past or past lives. So in your brain, in that hardware, there's memories of this past life, right? Now, if we're going to go into some wild stuff, but if time is relative, right? Time is fluid. People say that the past and the present and the future are all right here, right now. It's all linear. It's all right here. So you can determine where your future is, right? So let's say you're able to send your consciousness back to the past. Okay? Now, if your consciousness is back in the past, by you just being there, you've actually scared the timeline, and now you're on a totally different timeline. Because I looked at something that was about physics, right? And they said that there's no such thing as the butterfly effect. What they did is they took these particles that were supposed to be like humans, right? And they sent them back in time in a quantum computer. It's like a computer. It's a quantum computer. And to little or no effect once they came back to the future, right? They went to the past. They did damage. They came back. It corrected itself. So from what they say. So taking on that, is there really different timelines, or are all the timelines just a veil apart on the same waves? You know what I mean? It gets pretty crazy. It gets pretty crazy. So there's a lot of thought behind it, but your brain is one of the most complex computers that you've ever come in contact with. You've got memories you don't remember. You've got a subconscious that tells you things that you can't even remember off the top of your head. So we just got a little wild real quick, but so let's bring it right back to now, okay? And recently they did a study. It was a study of 24,000 dreams. 24,000 dreams. Okay, it's pretty wild. So they suggest that dreams are really a continuation of reality. Now, here's the thing I think about that, right? And we'll talk about it a little bit further later, but just to bring it up right now, if you have a dream that's completely wild, right? That things don't make sense, people are there that shouldn't be there, people are there that you don't know. How is that a continuation of reality? But we're going to explain that a little bit, which is going to get crazy. So, where do dreams come from? It's an age old question. Some people have been wondering and theorized for millennia. And we went over that. They definitely theorize it for millennia. We don't know what it is. We don't know. We don't know what happens. Whereas ancient civilizations may have interpreted dreams as having spiritual or spirituality of origin. In modern society, we are likely to analyze our dreams in terms of our waking life, looking for meaning, connections, linking the contents of the dream with lived experiences from our day to day existence. That's what they think now, okay? With that being said, it's crazy. Research has repeatedly proven strong support for what sleep scientists refer to as the continuity hypothesis. Continuity hypothesis, okay, of dreams. Most dreams are a continuation of what is happening in everyday life. The study is led by a computer scientist, Alessandro Fogli, from Roma Tre University in Italy. Okay? And this is what these are quotes from him. It turns out that everyday life impacts dreaming, i.e., anxiety in life leads to dreams with negative effects, and vice versa. Dreaming impacts problem solving skills. Okay? These psychological theories date back to the work of Sigmund Freud and others in the 20th century. Sigmund Freud, I didn't go into him because he literally analyzes the dream, but it's so back and forth with his writings that it wouldn't have been comprehensible by doing it via oration or being an orator and talking about it. Basically, you would have been like, what are you saying? You keep repeating different things, they don't make sense. So I didn't do his because you really have to read what he did. So Sigmund Freud spearheaded the notion that the hidden meanings of dreams could be unlocked when examined within the context of a person's real world experiences, right? So what they did first in this experiment is they decided to figure out tools to help them to signify what was what, and to let them try and figure out what's really going on in the dream, you know? So some tools that theorists use to figure out what dreams consists of are as follows. They use dream reports, which is basically you have a dream, you dialogue it, and then you write it down to make sure that we have all the details. But see, here's the thing. Remember we said before that you can't remember all your dreams all the time. So what they would do is they would let the person sleep, and then they would shake him and wake him up. Because I told you, when you get startled, you actually remember the dream more. So they would startle him, wake him up. He gets up. And that's the first thing he does is write down the dream. Let's write it down. Figure it out. You know? I would have been pissed. Are you kidding me? Every time you fall asleep, somebody's waking you up just so you can write down on a pad. I would have been pissed. But regardless. So they're looking for clues and symbols and structures that might correspond within the person's other parts of their dream life. So here's this part, right? What they did was they were looking for significant reoccurring things, reoccurring characters, reoccurring situations, reoccurring emotions. And what they also did was they were examining this person's life throughout the whole day, you know? So basically they could put statistical markers in places so they could follow it, so they could really like follow what's happening. It gets really heavy here, so let's keep going. So one heavy regarded system for interpreting dreams. It's a specific type of system, right? The report is it's called the Hull and Van D Castle system, which codifies dreams in terms of characters that appear within them, the interactions within them, and the effects that these characters subsequently have in the dream, or whether you have some kind of. I apologize, that's a coffee pot. We like coffee, we drink coffee, that's what we do. So basically, what it is it's them seeing if, you know, if there's like I said, there's reoccurring things, right? So I'm just putting the coffee pot back down. I like coffee. So they're looking for specifics. They want to see it reoccurring so they can signify it and give it a statistical marker. Okay? What that statistical marker, they'll be able to foresee whether they can literally identify these aspects and turn it into some kind of meaning. That's what they're really trying to get here, right? So the problem with these systems is that they are very time consuming, and it's slow to go through dream reports to find correlations in them, which is why they switched to using computer-based algorithm solutions based on this specific system, the Hall and Van D method, Hall and Van D Castle method. So now, look at it this way, right? It took so long for them to catalog all of these specific things, right? So when they cataloged all these specific things, it was taking them months upon months. Think about it, 24,000 dreams. Now, there's variables. You have to remember the dream, and you have to be able to recite the dream and be able to dictate it so you could figure out what it's about, right? So, I mean, that in itself is a task. That's a tall task, because for people to remember all that, how many times did you get a false draw where the guy wakes up, doesn't remember, goes to write something down, it's not right? It has nothing to do with that dream, right? So now, in a new study, Fogey and his team used this algorithm solution to track dreams on a vast scale, analyzing 24,000 dreams from a public database called the Dream Bank. Never knew there was such a thing called the Dream Bank. I mean, do you need specific deposit slips to deposit a dream in the Dream Bank? Can you withdraw dreams from the Dream Bank? I mean, how does it work? How does it work? No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, and it's crazy, because what they did was they were using the validating the tool's effectiveness of the dream reports, which included the continuity hypothesis, which is Fogey centered that. The algorithm was centered around that continuity hypothesis, which is the Hall Van D system, right? But this was done with 24,000. That was done at an unprecedented scale than they've ever done before, right? So now that they've done that, they have all this information. This algorithm is breaking it all down, right? So, all right, we're getting to the end of this, guys. We're hauling through this. This was a long episode. I told you, you're gonna have a ton of questions after it's all said and done, but it is what it is, right? The team's dream tool simplifies the Hall and Van D Castle system, right? What it does is, through the text of the dream reports and focusing on the character's social interactions and emotional words, they were able to come to a consensus of what this really means, you know? So what it was when they finished all of this specific data, they found out they had the three aspects, right? So 2/3 of the time, they were able to track consistencies between the people Because you think about it, now they're not just taking it on a whole level. Yeah, I would charge interest too of a dream bank. That hope. Let me get that money for them dreams. No, but really what it is they're looking at individual people now too. So in these individual situations, there has to be a repeating person, a repeating situation, a repeating effectiveness of the situation. At 2/3 of the time, they found out that it was somewhat of a continuation of that person's reality. But here's the thing: remember before I said that there's always dreams that you have no idea where they came from. There's no telling. They're just wild and crazy dreams. They're just out there. So with that being said, this is what this 2/3, it works, but it doesn't at the same time. So there's three dimensions that were considered to be the most important areas in aiding the interpretations of dreams. They define them as the backbone of the dream plot. What it was who was present, which actions were performed, and which emotions were expressed. So, they found examples that the continuity hypothesis was present. So we're talking about this system. They found out that it did work. It did work in some instances, 2/3 of the time, not the other 1/3 of the time, right? So basically, it was present, but the notion that the dreams are a continuation of what happens in everyday life. That's what they're saying. They found statistical markers reflecting what dreams likely experienced were real life stuff coming back to you in your dream. But, and of course, this is far from being the last word that we're going to have, or last ever experiment that we're going to have on what exactly dreams are. But they feel that they got a good start on this. I know it was tough to follow because it's a little bit different. Those are a little bit different. But so what do we learn today, right? Let's go over a few things. A lot of nations from the beginning of history up till now feel that dreams were prophetic. They were signs from God. They were interested in what they meant from the beginning of written time. Okay? Now also, science right now is going further and further and further and further. So maybe one day we'll be able to analyze somebody's brain and see exactly through their eyes for, let's say, a whole year, analyzing their dreams and their everyday life, so they can see if they coincide with each other. For me, personally, I don't feel that it completely coincides with everyday stuff. Because think about it, sometimes your dreams manifest into a lot of different things, And it's funny because when people daydream, and they daydream a lot, sometimes those tend to manifest more because you're focused on it. So any thought that you have, when you focus all of your energy on it, it can become reality. So it goes back to all these things that you hear where it's like you are what you become, or you have your choice of what program you run inside of the matrix, or your reality. If you think of something, it'll become your reality. You'll manifest it. Things come to you. I believe all that. So a lot of these things, like it's different. I believe we have somebody. Oh, there's a group call. I don't know what happened with that, but so there's a lot of things that people who are spiritual, they feel that they get dreams in meditation too. So what's right? What's wrong? There's no answer to that. So it goes by what you feel about it. So what you should really do is keep a dream journal. Okay? Now we're going to go into how you can do it for yourself. Keep a dream journal. And now let me just tell you something. This is going to take you forever. So be prepared. It's going to take you a very long time. Start a dream journal, right? And every time you have a dream that you remember, you write it down. But not only keep a dream journal, keep a journal like a regular journal. Write down your day. Try and figure out where your emotions went up and down during the day. And I'm actually going to try this, and I'm going to get back to you on it because I think this is really fun to explore. And I'll also do it for the dream journal too. But what you want to do, right? Take that journal. Write down your day. Write down the emotions you felt throughout the day, whatever you can remember. Okay? So basically, after you fall asleep at night and you wake up, do it again in a dream journal. Do it again. Try and number the days too, so you can keep track of it. After you finish the whole book, because there's going to be days where you forget to write what you did during the day, and there's going to be days where you forget to write in the dream journal. You just didn't have time. So write it all down. And then what you want to do with it is you want to, after they're both finished, analyze it. Look in that book, right? Look in that book for the daily journal book. See what your emotions are. And then open up the dream journal and see if those dreams coincided with those emotions. That'll be the real way to figure it out. If it's actually a continuality of the reality that you have throughout the day. Because maybe it is, maybe it's not. But, it's a good way to figure that out. And you can do your own research on it. Also, it's just interesting to log your dreams. Because maybe you don't need that daily journal. Maybe you can discern what your dreams are telling you, or if your dreams are telling you anything at all. If you go forward and you write it down and you log it, you got to log it. You got to write it down. Doing all this really made me focus on what I was dreaming. Because, there was so many times that I've been fell asleep on the couch, and all of a sudden you wake up and startled, like you either heard something touched you, or you felt weird, right? So you're laying there, and boom, you're up. You don't even know where you are. Why does that happen? Because you were lucid dreaming. And you don't remember what you were dreaming. It says you remember more when you get woken up. So maybe you do remember, maybe you don't. But really, you gotta keep going. You gotta figure it out. You gotta just keep trucking through it and see what's going on, because there is prophecy in dream. Whether it's prophecy from a god or not, nobody knows. You won't know that. But you're going to get some answers, because everybody tends to be a little bit more psychic in their dreams. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the ability to see that stuff. So now, that's the presentation I had on dreams, right? I thought it was pretty crazy. So let me go over some things that are going to be happening in the next week or so we can go a little bit forward and what the schedule is going to be like. Tomorrow is going to be one of our 1-hour shows, and it's going to be a little bit later than usual. We're dealing with a lot of people who are on the Pacific time, which is a 3-hour difference. Of course, I'm from New York, so what it is that we're going to have tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern time, we're going to have Melinda with us, the rescue medium Melinda, who, like I said, congratulations again to her for being a part of the family now. I knew it was going to happen. I had a feeling, because she's so excellent at what she does, that it's hard to say that, you need this woman to do a reading for you. Whoever you are out there, even if you don't believe in it, she'll change your mind. I'm telling you, phenomenal. So tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to have one-on-one, face-to-face readings. So it's going to be like this. We're going to bring people in one at a time. She's going to do a reading for them. She's going to do 2 cards for them. And basically, what it's going to be is she's going to do this. We're going to interview the people right before. They're going to tell you who they are. And then afterwards, we're going to ask them what they felt about that reading and how it pertains to them. and if they can speak about what she's talking about. Yeah. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. So you're going to see you're going to see fully how Melinda's ability works, and I think it's going to be a real tell. It's going to be a real telling of how these people's lives are actually being changed by her being able to tell them what's coming. So I think it's going to be a really great show. Next week, we're going to be. I know we fell behind on the Full Spectrum Universe news this week. It's because we were setting up for being a part of the network this week, and I do apologize for that. There will be another episode released next week on YouTube. And remember, like I said, if you're part of the Patreon or the Subscribe Star, you get 3 episodes of that. And basically what I do is I go through all the news. I go through paranormal, UFOs, space, astronomy. I mean, we have news on everything. We have articles. I could show you something about this swing set that they found it's like in the Midwest somewhere. I have to go through the article again, but this woman, her son was sitting by this swing set. The swings were going like this. Now, if you look at it, some of them could be debunked. We're going to look at it together and see what it's all about. It's going to be wild. There's a lot going on in space with the Starlink SpaceX now getting in the way of all these telescopes that are trying to take pictures. We got something on that. But we got a lot of good stuff. So there's going to be 3 episodes done of that. If you're a Patreon or Subscribe Star member, let me put that up for you guys again. If you're on Patreon or Subscribe Star, you have the ability to get 3 episodes of that specific show a week. Not to mention, we do extra episodes on the fly. A whole hour sometimes. Doesn't matter. If I feel like I have something to say, I get on there, I do a whole episode. Sometimes we have extra guests that don't want to come on the regular YouTube and Facebook. They want to be private. So I do an episode doing an interview. But that's only privilege of my Patreon and Subscribe Star members. Like I said, for $2, you can't go wrong. You're going to get a lot of extra content. And like I said, if you like what we do here, which I hope you do, I try really hard to put out a good program. It's worth your while. It's for $2. You got a lot of extra stuff. So again, guys, listen, Global Enlightenment Radio Network. These people are phenomenal. I can't say enough about them. Okay, I got contacted from them last week. They liked what we were doing. They asked me to be a part of their network. I said sure. I was jumping up and down. I was excited. I'm honored to be a part of this team. Like I said, also check out the Facebook profile page. We did an excellent show last night. We were dropping knowledge. We talked about so many different subjects. It was wild. I want to thank Odin for that. And Rev, a couple things that Rev said he really got to me. It was really something I had to think about. We were up till 1 a.m. Eastern time on the show. We didn't care. We didn't want to stop. It was just so good. It was such a good show. But yeah, check it out, man. If you like stuff that's not politics, there's even some politics in there. But if you like stuff that's not politics and you want to hear real people talking about real knowledge, this is the place. They also have a YouTube channel. In fact, I'm gonna get that YouTube channel up and I'm gonna show it to you. So what you can do is you can go there and you can subscribe and be a part of it, and you should be. You really should be, because they really know what they're doing and they really know how to take, they really know how to put things together. You see all these episodes, 3 hours, 4 hours, 2.5 hours, 1.5 hour and 44 minutes. I mean, guys, you can't go wrong. There's more information on this website than you know what to do with. And then they have all these subsidiary subscriptions you can go to too. Let's talk about the other media company that they have as well. It's called Soma Fusion. Soma Fusion, she is a metaphysicist talking about anything, everything. She's got, as you see, world famous UFO contactee. You also see it's clinical hypnotherapist and astrophysicist. This is the real stuff. Okay? This is Ed Brock right here. Ed Broderick, sorry. This is the Rev. This is the gentleman last night who actually he had me thinking outside the box. I mean, it was wild. It was wild what we were talking about last night. I couldn't get enough of it, you know. So do yourself a favor, check it out. Check it out. Let me go ahead. Let me get you the. All you have to do is type it in. But I'm gonna get you. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get you the YouTube site anyway, so you can go on and you can go ahead and follow them as well, right? So go ahead, man. Global Enlightenment Network. Here's the YouTube. Go to the YouTube page. It's phenomenal. There's more than you know what to do with over there. There's so much going on. We have so much stuff. So I want to say hi to a couple people in the comments. What's going on, Eric? We see you. It's good to see you too, brother. David Rucker, audio and video looking great. Sound great. Thank you, sir. As you can see, we were interacting with Global Enlightenment Network throughout the whole episode. And you know, it's a great thing to see everybody coming together, and we're really trying to make this big. So if you know people who are into the same things that you are, go out, tell them all about us, because really it's worth their while. It's worth their while, you know. So talk about other things that are going on. It's been wild in New York. You know, hopefully we're coming off a lockdown. I don't know if anybody heard, but the CDC has released new numbers. Check it out. It's pretty crazy. I don't really like talking politics on my show, and I won't. But also, we have a Facebook group. You know, hopefully if you go to Full Spectrum Universe, you know, basically what we can do is you can join the group. It's really a place where we delve into information, and we try and do an exchange of information with people. What we have been seeing a lot, and I'm not going to lie, is everybody wants to put their stuff up there, their live feeds, and I don't mind doing that too. But what it comes down to is, if you're not interacting with the group itself, what I mean by interacting is if you're not putting up articles, or if all you're doing is just sharing your live feed or trying to put your group in there, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to get denied, because that's another part of like a family. We're there to exchange information with each other, and I get it. You know, I want to give a shout out to Sonny. Sonny's been doing a lot, putting articles up there in live feeds. He's doing interviews now. I see you out there, Sonny. Sonny actually calls me the Godfather of talk radio. I don't know if I like the moniker, but it fits, right? I mean, look at me. I'm Italian. I'm a decent-looking kid. It is what it is. No, I'm joking. But you know, basically, if you're gonna be a part of that group, please do me a favor, and just instead of just liking things, leave a comment. Okay, we're 3 people away from 1,400 members. What that means is that if you do go ahead and put your live feeds out there, you will get views. Trust me. Now, with this show, what I tend to do is I tend to share it in that group and a bunch of other groups. So going back to the people who need advertising or want to get ahead and get more views, I have that group. And now I have another group that's an Ancient Aliens group. There's 106,000 people in that group. They let me post whatever I want. Think about it. That's hundreds of thousands of people. Okay? And we're also going to be on iHeartRadio. So, you know, and that's another thing I'm really excited for. They actually just on a Global Enlightenment Network, they actually just put most of my live shows that we've done so far. My archive is up there right now. So you can go all to one place and find all these episodes. There's a lot of other playlists on there. You should check it out. I've heard a lot of their shows so far, and really, it's a great group of people. We're hungry. When I tell you that we're going to be the best thing on the internet, it's not even a joke. And I'm not trying to be cocky or confident. I'm just telling it like it is. You know, it's we're really climbing to the top. And then with the addition of Melinda, it's the team just gets stronger and stronger. And when I tell you that we look out for each other, we're like family. I'm brand new and I know that already. So imagine the people who've been here for a while. So like I said, every Tuesday is going to be a 2-hour show from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're actually going to end probably about 4 or 5 minutes early because I know they need time to set up the next show. So it's going to be about an hour and 55 minutes. If there's something that if you have anything you want to talk about, you want to come on the show, drop me a message, drop me a line. We'll work it out. We'll get you on there. Next time we come on, I'm going to try and get a round table together. We're going to talk about a couple different subjects. I'm hoping we can get Odin to come on because when me and him start talking about stuff, it gets wild, it gets crazy, things get out of hand. We go off on tangents that have nothing to do with the topic, but it really makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So, you know, I can't stress it enough. I'm also, like I said, Wednesday we're going to have Melinda on. It's going to be really crazy. Last time she was on the show, I kid you not, she had everybody in the house crying. And it was a good thing. It wasn't a bad thing, but it was wild. To see the expression on the people's faces that were in the room with me while I was recording was, I can't even describe it. This lady is so good at what she does. She's done 3 card readings for me. 4. Every time, when I mean it, every time, she's hit the nail of the head. Every time. Her hammer is huge, and she swings at it, and she hits that nail right on the head. It's crazy. It's crazy. So also, if anybody else wants to join in tomorrow, what we're going to do is we're going to have an hour-long show. And then afterwards, what we're going to do is we're going to bring everybody who got readings, we're going to bring them into the extra subscription side of the service so we can have a big round table. We can have up to 10 people. Right now we have 7 people. Okay? We have 2 more spots available. I know it says 10, but I'm one of those spots, so it's going to have to only be 2 more. I'm not counting myself. So if there's anybody else who wants readings, let me know. Okay? Let me know because we'll get you in there. And that's right. You know, as you can see, I'm going to put it up there. Laugh out loud. He's so right. We have fun. This is what this is all about, fun. But at the same time, ask yourself, where else can you go, right? That there's like, we have a good time about it, but you're getting a ton of knowledge that isn't mainstream knowledge, okay? We do things from all different angles. We've got religious angles. We've got philosophical angles. We've got metaphysical angles. We've got somebody like me who's, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. Oh, I research and research and research. Like this took me 3 days to get the stuff together for this episode. But it was worth it because what it is I want to bring you guys top quality content. Therefore, we have to go over everything and we have to go about it in a militant way. So I have every angle of it. But we do have fun. You know, we do have fun. And you're going to see that this show is going to get better and better and better. You know, tonight was a little nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. First time on a new network. You know, things are a little crazy. Want to make sure I do a good job. But hopefully I came out of the gate swinging. And like I was telling everybody yesterday, I'm a phoenix, man. I'm a phoenix. The Human Torch is cool, but the Cosmic Phoenix blows it out of the water. That's what I do, bro. That's what I do. Big things, like a phoenix. Like a phoenix. So on that note, we're running. There's only 3 minutes left till 8 o'clock my time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off. Everybody have a great night, okay? Watch out for the episode tomorrow. Watch out for the episode next week. We hope you return. Global Enlightenment Radio Network is the future.